Instead, they have Harrison Bader in center, Dexter Fowler in right. That's not a really good. I'm hoping Dylan Carlson makes the team. He's probably the best outfielder they have. Cardinals. Tommy Edman will get time. Yeah, Tito Landrum. I remember him. Terry Landrum. Wasn't his name Terry? Tito. Like Terry Francona. Tito.
You there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hey there.
There you go. There you go.
What's up, you handsome fella?
Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can get George.
Hey there.
There you go. There you go.
What's up, you handsome fella? George always killing it, isn't he?
George is an legend. If you guys can hear us in the chat room, can someone just give me a yes? Give me a yes. Makes me feel warm inside. That's all I need.
Andrew hears us.
George is done. It's amazing George is done. I was literally just listening, and he was talking about, all these the players that passed away. That was literally like 3 minutes ago. I don't know how did he end that show on a dime, because I literally just got off, and then you guys said he was done. So I know usually there's this big musical interlude, but good for Georgie. Georgie always puts on one hell of a show. So before I go into our big intro here, I just want to let you know a little warning. I got a 2-year-old running all around. So if you see my camera jumping around or a little blondie running around, that's my 2-year-old Noah. So let's give him some love
right.
on
it's the fantasy fam.
It
as
is
much fam as possible on here.
Paulie, you just nailed it. You nailed it. It is the fantasy fam, guys. And welcome May 31st. The fantasy fam here on the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports Network. Paulie, is there anywhere else you would really rather be? Let's be honest.
No, I want to be right here, right now. And you know what? I gotta say, shout out to you and my Aunt Crystal. 1 year ago today, we were celebrating the marriage of you and my dear Aunt Crystal.
The union.
The combination. Oh, I see a door opening behind you.
The union. The union. The union.
Happy anniversary to you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A blissful
let's get into
year.
this.
A blissful year. Paulie, we got a show, but you and I aren't here. You and I are not even here if it's not for the legend and the lady.
Oh, I know.
What
would we do without them?
I'd probably be staring at a wall. I'd be begging for your time. But now, we have a dedicated time. We talk every week. I mean, this is the highlight of my week. Lady and the legend, guys, thank you for making this happen. Andrea, thank you for the congratulations. Royals, aloha, my friend. How are you? All right, we're rocking it. And Paulie, do we have a show today or what?
Oh yeah, we do. We got a show and a half.
A show and a half, because not only are we doing our normal baseball dance, but we're gonna dabble a little into the NFL, aren't we, my friend?
Yeah, we're gonna tease a little bit, maybe some early rankings.
early
Some early
rankings.
positional rankings.
And I gotta say, I'm a baseball guy. I'm normally a baseball guy. That's my thing. But my young Thundercat nephew, he lives in the world of the NFL a little bit. So gonna be relying on him. But I'm excited to jump into it. I don't think I've ever won an NFL fantasy draft, so I'm excited to talk about it, get into his head a little bit. He won ours last year, so always a good person to have on board.
Yeah, it's great. I can't wait to get into that, with NFL a little bit and keep getting into this baseball stuff and all this drama going on.
All the drama. So with that in mind, ready? Here's what we got in store. We got players versus owners. Where do you land? Right? A lot of different information going on, right? A lot of different pieces. So players versus owners. And then this new piece that I love, start, bench, cut. I love it. So this edition is going to be catchers. Who do you start? Who do you bench? Who do you cut? Really interesting segment. We started last week. We're going to keep the momentum going this week. And then we're going to dabble. We're going to dabble, Paulie, with that NFL.
Yeah, we'll dabble a little bit.
Doesn't it look like I have a ghost behind me? This door keeps going.
Yeah, it's freaking me out a little bit. Door just keeps swinging open and closed.
I love it. It's because my 2-year-old is tiny. And then we got a little trivia. And then we got Stardom or Dumb, a regular segment we have, the third base edition, and that's about your fantasy team, who we predict to be star, and who do we predict to be just a dumb pick at third base. And lastly, how much would you pay for injury guys? Which is a great question, right? Guys that are injured every single year, or so it seems like. How much do they go for on the open market? And at what point are you just paying for a name, or are you paying for time on the DL or the IL?
Right. And in a shortened season, you may be willing to pay a little bit more, hoping that these guys are going to stay healthy through it.
Absolutely. And Paulie boy, I got to tell you, I'm drinking this new thing called it's Bragg's Organic Apple Cider Vinegar Drink. Have you ever had apple cider vinegar?
That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible.
It gets you right in here. Right in here. You feel
nasty,
it go all the
Bob.
way down. But it's got a touch of honey in it. It's pretty good. You would think that they're paying for advertisement here. I'm just telling you.
Oh, man. Please don't ever bring that on the show ever again.
It's delicious. It's
I may start vomiting soon. I may start vomiting.
Don't vomit, please. All right.
Ugh.
Ready, Paulie? In the spirit of trying to get baseball back on the field, players versus owners. Been hearing a lot. You know your Uncle Bob. Every morning, I go on MLB Sirius, the leadoff spot with Steve Phillips, and it's been CJ Nikowski on there. I go on there. I call every morning. It's been the hot topics. A lot of back and forth. Players, owners, players. Scott Boras is in the mix, right? Everything's going on, right? People's hair is on fire. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a season, but there's a reason for some optimism. I mean, do you have any starting thoughts when it comes to this?
Everybody's throwing around solutions, and I think that's great. It just doesn't seem like the MLB and its owners are willing to even, nudge a little bit. Doesn't seem like they're trying to give a little bit. It doesn't really make any sense that we're still at this point. I think I said about 3 shows ago, which was 3 weeks ago, I said in about 3 weeks there needs to be an agreement at the latest, because you still have this time that you're going to need to prepare and get back into training and things like that before you start a season. And now it's May 31st. We're coming into the first week of June, and we're nowhere near close to an agreement from either side. There are 2 total opposite sides of the spectrum, and we're still worrying about dollars.
Yep.
We're still worrying about dollars, and nobody's worried about the schedule. Nobody's worried about the schedule. Yeah. It's like, we'll get to the schedule. Let's agree on money first. And it's taking forever.
From what I hear, they have to have something together by this week, or else it's a wash. That's what I hear. I mean, and that makes sense. I mean, it's the first week of June. From what I hear, they want to start the first week of July. By the time they get it together, get guys through a little bit of a spring training. By the way, I love Miss Erica chiming in that you don't know a damn thing about healthy stuff. But anyway.
Oh, what does she know? What does
I mean,
she know?
she's right in there, right in there. But I mean, I agree though. We got to get this going for a lot of reasons. I tend to side with the players. I don't think they're handling everything the right way. I hate the Scott Boras involvement. I wish that guy would just shut up. But you know, the players have a finite time to play. Finite, right? Like they have at most what, a 15-year career. I know you have some players that are also in 18 years, but by and large, right, probably anywhere between what's the average? Maybe a 6-year career, 8-year career in there.
Probably not even that long.
Right. So, I mean, they're trying to get the most money that they can. I get it, and you know, the owners, they're owners in perpetuity. I mean, they've been making a profit before, profitable. They'll make it in the future. I don't understand what the big issue is this year. Now, I understand not all teams make the profits that the Mets and the Yankees and the Dodgers and the big market teams make, the Cubs, but that's where they have to figure out the revenue sharing a little bit. I mean, revenue sharing is going to take on a whole different look, especially we're talking about 1 year. Like, guys, figure this out, even between the owners. But what I was saying before is the players aren't without some guilt of confusion here, because when they say things like, I got to worry about my health, Blake Snell, I got to worry about my health, and I'm not going to put my life on the line. But in the same breath, the players are also saying, oh, I don't want to do an 81 game season. I want a 130 game season or 135 game season. It just doesn't mesh. Are you hearing something different? Like, am I imagining that, or does that seem like it's 2 different ends of the spectrum that the players are saying, and you just can't do that?
No, you're on point, and it just seems like there's too many voices on the players' side. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their own opinion, and everybody feels a certain way, and not everybody agrees, you know, with another player's opinion, and they agree with that one, but not with this one, and it's all over the place, man. It's all over the place, and they come to the agreement, the players, that they just want prorated salaries, which I can totally understand. But then the owners just, they want to pay them. I think they're changing their proposals every time that they hand it in. It's 1 week it's a pay scale, and then another week it's something totally different, and it doesn't seem like they can make up their minds. I mean, they're the ones who are really losing out here, realistically, because it's either you know, make something of the season and get whatever you can out of it, or have nothing on the field, nothing at all. And you know, the players don't, you know, some of them I don't think will really mind it. Yeah, they'll lose a year of playing, which, you know, just only goes towards stats and, you know, a team winning a World Series, but at least they'll have their health. And the free agents after this year, you know what I mean? Like they can go and search for another team after this, like a Marcus Stroman. He's a free agent after this year, whether he plays this year or not. So they're still looking for their money after this. They're going to be getting deals, you know, after this year. So I think somebody's going to give in, and at some point, I think it's going to be the owners as well. Lenny's saying the same thing. Owners will give in. Players will help, and deferred payments to get it back. I think deferred payments is an awesome idea. How can the players not agree on deferred payments, whether you're making $1 million this year or $30 million this year? Lengthen that out over like the next 10 seasons. Get a $250,000 a year at July 1st, Bobby Bonilla Day. You know what I mean? Get one payment just from this year. One payment from this year for the next 10 years or whatever it is. And put the money and all that BS to the side and get on the field.
Yeah. I mean, nice Bobby Bonilla reference, Paulie. Way to stick it in there. I can hear the pain in your voice when you say Bobby Bonilla Day. But you know what? You have a point, though. I mean, the deferment of it, because when revenues start coming in again, right, the dollars are going to be there. These teams do make money. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the business of it. So,
right.
I mean, and they make money hand over fist. And just like Georgie said, he doesn't know if baseball is going to be able to withstand if they don't have a season, especially based on what they're arguing about. I believe there's a new collective bargaining agreement that needs to be settled soon too. So if you couple those two things together, baseball could implode if they don't figure this out. The average fan does not want to hear about, I know it's an old adage, billionaires versus millionaires. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it.
Right.
I know the owners are going to go for a cap at some point, and the players union isn't going to want it, and there's going to be all this mess. But man, oh man, like they got to figure it out. So I hope the legend, I hope George is right. I hope someone's going to buckle, someone's going to cave, someone's going to say, hey, listen, we're going to make a little bit more concessions on our end, guys. It's 1 year, right? July, August, September. It's a 5-month abbreviated season. Like, let's figure it out. You've got too much to gain. Don't get caught up in the short term. You got to see the big picture, right? You got to see the big picture. This short term stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, it's crazy. And think about the fan. These owners and these players, I just don't think they have a dose of reality. These players have never really understood what it is. The people I feel the worst for, you and I have talked about this, is the minor leaguers, right? The minor leaguers are going to get hurt the worst.
They've already gotten hurt. They've already been destroyed.
They're cutting levels. They're cutting the $400 that they make. I know the Oakland Athletics started that, and there's going to be other teams because there's no gate. There's no gate.
Disaster. Those poor kids are better off on unemployment at this point, and the MLB is ruining the developmental system and everything they've worked so hard for, and everything like that. And now you're just cutting it down to 2 minor league teams and getting rid of all those instructional teams and all those like single A teams and everything like that. And that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a lot of teams, and they're not paying these guys a lot in the first place. They just want more money in their pocket. What is each low minor leaguer making $30,000 a year if they're lucky?
Yeah.
They need that $30,000 per player so bad that they got to cut these teams out. That's a totally different topic, but I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, the minor leagues has taken the brunt of it, and it's just gonna keep trickling, and it could really hurt Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Everything that's going on.
And well, first off, thank you, Royals, for letting me know, clarifying the CBA expires December 2021, so literally right around the corner. Next year, probably about 18 months away. And Lenny, quote unquote, sick players won't play. That's the ultimate thing. I mean, I run YMCA's in New Jersey, right? It's the ultimate get out of jail free card. Any employee across the board can say, I don't feel safe or I don't feel well. And they'll almost be like, oh, well, let them be. And I get it. I do get it. Like, this is a pandemic. We've never experienced it before. But guys, listen, you gotta pick a direction. You gotta pick a direction. Just like I'm picking a direction in agreement with George that you have a face for radio. I hope Erica.
I was just gonna say that. I agree with him. I have a face for radio. You have the face for this, though. I'll tell you that. My handsome uncle. You got it all, this guy.
I appreciate that. I'm sure our audience is gonna love an uncle and nephew flirting with each other on.
Oh, we do it all the time. We do it all the time.
Okay, so handsome, these Cornell boys. But
it's crazy. It's really crazy, and it's sad. But the craziest thing about it is that these are millionaire players arguing with billionaire owners, and everybody's just stuck at home, just wanting them to get on the field. People are crying about money. You know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous now, man. It's ridiculous, and we get it. And there's unions and this and that, and you got to fight for what you want and this and that. But when is enough, man? I side with the players, but somebody's got to come to something here, and somebody's got to step up and just say enough is enough, because I mean, the NBA is getting back, NHL is getting back at some point soon. They have some clarity on the direction that they're going. MLB is in the middle of their season, and there's just no direction here.
No.
There's nothing. Nobody knows what's going on here. And, it could be a disaster. This type of season can have an effect on plenty of seasons to come.
And, I mean, like I said earlier, I'm on the side of the players too. But when someone like Max Scherzer says, "Oh, we already took a pay cut," no, you didn't. You didn't take a pay cut. And Michael Kay said this on his show this week. He said the guys didn't take a cut. There wasn't games to play, so you individually took a cut, but you didn't take a
Right.
cut, right? There were no games to play. So
Right.
it's not like you got 30% of your salary for games you played. That's a pay cut, right?
Right.
Like, I know people that are taking a pay cut on their salary right now based on what's going on. The players didn't take a pay cut. The owners are proposing a pay cut, especially for the highest salary guys. But the players saying, they wanted to take a second pay cut. Guys, you didn't even take an initial pay cut. So stop that.
They're just saying that they agreed to go to prorated salaries in the first place. But that's not a pay cut. Like you're saying, a prorated salary is not a pay cut. You're just getting what you're putting in. So like if you play 100 games this season, you're gonna get paid for 100 games worth of baseball. Like that's what it is. Everybody's gonna take 75% of that paycheck because that's what's prorated. Let's say they're not taking a pay cut. There's no pay cut going on, and now they're just annoyed that they're going back to the negotiation table. You know what I mean? They're annoyed about that, and they're crying over millions of dollars when people at home are barely even making ends meet at this point.
Yeah.
So just get back on the field, please.
Hey, Malpal, we don't need your negativity in this room. I wouldn't count on any sports. Malpal, get out of here. Get out of here.
No, I know, but Malpal's not wrong. I mean, you can't, NBA and NHL are saying all this, but it's no guarantee. But at least they have a little direction.
Listen, I don't want to hear you either because you're a glass half empty kind of guy too. You're the guy who wins $1 million and bitches about the taxes. I don't want to hear it. Not that you did win $1 million, but you would. Come on, Erica, if you're still in there, back me up here. Paulie wins $1 million. He says, "But I don't want to pay the taxes."
Yeah, I'm just gonna flee. I'm gonna go to Canada or something like that. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but it's craziness.
I got to be honest with you. Royals is mentioned in NBA and NHL. They seem like they got it together more, and they're completely out of season. They seem like they have a plan. They're being quiet about it, and they're like, all right, we're going to figure this out.
Well, the thing is that the NHL and the NBA are in a totally different spot than the MLB. NBA and NHL are the same season, so they're at the same point of both their seasons. So, like, they can work together somewhat. If they are, I don't know, but I'm just saying maybe they are. MLB is the only one that stands alone. You know what I mean? And this happened at the very beginning of their season. So, you know who should be taking notes right now? The NFL. The NFL should be taking notes right now on how the MLB is handling this because this is coming for them. This is coming for them, and it's going to be a disaster if what's happening to MLB happens to the NFL. But I wouldn't be surprised either if that happened.
Well, hopefully we're far enough removed at that point and the numbers stay down. I mean, the biggest threat to the NFL is a resurgence of this thing when the weather gets cooler. Right. That's the biggest threat. But let's
but who knows? What if those owners start crying? Oh, there's not going to be any fans in the stadiums. No fans. We can't pay you all this money. Then what? Then those players start revolting. You know what I mean? It's just
listen. If the NFL and the states allow fans, I don't think fans are not going to go. I think people are going to be so starved for sports.
Right.
I think those stadiums are going to be full. I think they're going to be full.
I hope so.
Yeah. But good points here, Paulie boy. Great points. I kind of feel like I want to jump a segment and just go right into the NFL since we're talking about it, right? Let's just jump into the NFL. Let's touch on it. Guys, we're coming back to baseball. It's my bread and butter. We're coming back. But let's just touch on the NFL because I don't really know as much as the Thundercat that I co-host here with does. I don't know as much as him when it comes to the NFL, but we're in a league together, so I try to take some of his knowledge. And I just try to go about the four major offensive positions, right? Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. And just the top threes. Right. I know off the top of my head, I said to Paulie, okay, who's the top three? I said Mahomes, Breeze, and Rodgers. And he kind of laughed at me, and he said, well, you're old, Uncle Bob, and there were some other good guys this year as well. So quarterback.
You missed a few.
I know. Go ahead.
So quarterbacks, I mean, Mahomes, you had that 100%. Mahomes is QB1, no matter what type of league you're in. If it's a 2 QB league, if it's a 2 QB league, he's going first overall. In any other league, he's probably going in first, second round. So he's definitely number 1 quarterback. After him, that's another easy one, Lamar Jackson. That guy's a running back and the quarterback all in one. He's a stud, and he's easily number 2, a little bit behind Mahomes, just because of the season that Mahomes has had. The guy's already a legend, but Lamar's right behind him. And then third, you can go with Deshaun Watson of the Texans. Even though he lost DeAndre Hopkins this offseason, he's still pretty good. I still think he has some okay pieces around him. He makes things happen. But for 3, I think for me would be Russell Wilson. He is just a winner, man, and he just knows how to play with the guys that he has. Doesn't matter if they're studs or they're not studs, but I think for me, number 3 quarterback, Russell Wilson.
All right, Paulie. So, quick question: who's going to have the best season of these 3? Ready? The old guard: Rodgers, Breeze, Brady. Who has the best season?
Ooh, I think everybody would go with Brady there, just because of the offense that he's moving to with Godwin and Evans, and now he's got Gronk again, and he's got a decent run game and all this. But for me, it's just always going to be Breeze. Like in fantasy, Breeze is that guy. Out of those 3, Breeze is always that guy. He's got Michael Thomas. He's got Kamara. He's got a lot of options around there. Even Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is catching passes, running. He's playing running back, playing tight end. He's all over the place. I think it's Breeze. Even if he's got another year left, I think he's the fantasy quarterback that you want out of him, Rodgers, and Brady. I think it's always going to be Breeze for me out of those 3.
All right. Paulie, you talking about quarterbacks already has me bored. I got to be honest with you. Like, I'm already starving for baseball again. I might even cut this segment short because I can't even deal with going over running backs, wideouts, and tight ends. Maybe we'll just touch on tight ends because it's the one that intrigues me. And next week, I'm marking down the paper here. Next week, we'll do running backs and wideouts. Let's touch on tight ends. God, football doesn't even hold the candle to baseball. We need baseball back.
Oh, man.
But tight ends. Run to me down tight ends. So tight ends, obviously, Kelsey's the guy, right? Kelsey's the guy. But you said
Kelsey's number 1. Yeah.
Yep.
Kelsey's number 1 for sure. He has been for the past few years now. George Kittle, number 2. Same thing with him. And Zach Ertz, for me, is number 3. Those 3 guys have predominantly been the top 3 guys over the past few years, excluding Gronkowski. Those 3 guys have been the most productive in fantasy and everything like that. So I think that's the order is Kelsey, Kittle, Ertz.
Literally,
you could
say no respect for Gronkowski. Just because he took a year off, you got no respect for Gronk.
No, he's not top 3. He's not top 3.
Really?
He could get the 4th spot, but I wouldn't give it to him. I'd probably give it to maybe Darren Waller from Oakland, or I'm trying to think. I don't even know. He would probably be 5th for me. Oh, Hunter Henry from the Chargers. You know what I mean? So Gronk's like 4, 5, 6, like that. Guy who was always hurt. You know what I mean? He's coming to an offense that there's already a couple of studs there in Godwin and Evans. So he's going to have some competition for targets. Brady's only getting older, so, not that I put anything past him, but still, Gronk is not top 3 for me.
Who's the other tight end in Tampa who, like, they say is going to be a good 1-2 tight end with him?
Yeah, it was O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard, they drafted him in the first round a few years back out of Alabama, and he just hasn't really turned into anything. They've been talking about for the past year or 2 that they were going to trade him to maybe the Patriots or somebody like that once Gronk was getting hurt and everything like that. But they never wound up trading him, and they feel like they have the best tight end tandem in the league now. But O.J. Howard had a horrible year last year, so Gronk may really have to pick up a lot of that slack.
All right. Thus concludes our NFL tidbit. This was like the equivalent of, I got to tell you, every time I drive back and forth to work and I put on Serious Fantasy, which I do, and they talk about football incessantly. I wonder how much can one station talk about football? And I dive for baseball all the time, and I feel like we've ventured into that a little bit, Paulie, where we're talking about football. We're gonna keep these brief. We're baseball guys by and large. I know you love your football, but thank you for a little bit of the football there. I appreciate it. So let's get
Of
back
course.
into the sport. Let's get back into the sport that matters. All right. So
Yep.
start, bench, cut. Start, bench, cut. Catches edition. All right, guys. So you guys that are listening, this is the way it works. Okay. If you've ever played a game with your friends, I know you have. Paulie,
You always
go?
have to throw this tidbit in there.
I do, because it gives it some weight here. It's who would you have relations with, and you know what the word is. Who would you have relations with? Who would you marry, and who would you kill? That's
you kill?
That's the version that we're doing. But this one is called start, bench, cut. So if you had a team and you had these three guys and you had to choose start, bench, cut, which one would you do? Okay, so here we go. Round number one. Here we go. Will Smith, Mitch Garver, and Gary Sanchez. Will Smith,
Wow.
Mitch Garver, and Gary Sanchez. Three young bucks in there. Three young bucks in there.
For me, I'm gonna go with Garver. I'm gonna start Garver.
Yeah.
I am going to. I'm gonna bench Gary Sanchez and cut Will Smith.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
Mitch Garver, I'm pretty sure he has catcher and first base eligibility in fantasy, so I really like that. It's a guy who after last year, I know he's just a 1-year guy so far, but he's proven he could put up 30 bombs in a season, and if you get 30 bombs from the catcher spot, then you're looking pretty when you're getting 30 bombs from the catcher spot. And, you know, I think that's awesome because he could also play a first for you. I'm benching Gary because he's another one that could put up 30 bombs as long as he's healthy and starting. I feel like he's going to need to be picking up a little bit of that slack, you know what I mean? Like with Judge and Stanton hurt here and there. I don't know, but I still like Gary's potential. Will Smith, you know, he's going to always be the 8-hitter in a loaded Dodgers lineup. And, you know what I mean? He had a decent – actually, he had a pretty hot start last year, but kind of fell off towards the end, but he's still pretty good. He's a young kid in a dynasty league or something like that. I would probably rather him, but in a normal fantasy league, I would probably take Sanchez and Garver before him.
All right. Well, if you're checking in with the chat room here, I'm with Andrea. I'm with Andrea, where I think we're saying the same thing, that we're starting Garver, and we're benching Will Smith, and we're cutting Sanchez. Sanchez, Royals. I don't know where you are, Royals. Sanchez. I mean, I know we're primarily talking offense here with fantasy. I get it. But I think that guy is going to play his way out of a position with his defense. I know they can always stick him at DH, but Yankees have so many options. And the guy strikes out like an absolute beast for the 35 home runs that he can hit. I don't know. I'm just not in on the Sanchez train. Will Smith was very interesting to me, especially how he jumped on the scene. Paulie boy, you had him in our league, and he did you right. That was a smooth pickup by you, and he just exceeded expectations. And Garver, I mean, not only was he a beast last year, but he's helping you out your strat league too. Did you see that spatula just coming to the screen?
I saw it. Yeah. yeah. Garver is. I think that's him. You know what I mean? He's really hit or miss. He could put up 30 bombs and bat 270 for you, and from catcher spot or its first base spot, whichever one. I think that's great.
All right. So you say again, you're gonna start Garver. You're gonna bench Sanchez,
bench Gary, and cut Will Smith.
Cut Will Smith, and I'm gonna start Garver, and I'm gonna bench Will Smith, and I'm gonna cut Sanchez. All right, here we go. Now we're going to the old folks' home. You ready? The old folks' home. Buster Posey,
Old folks
Yadier,
home at catchers.
Buster, Yadier, Salvi Perez. King Hat, what is up? Welcome to the room, brother. All right. Buster Posey, Yadier, Salvi. Start, bench, cut, Pulley boy. Where do you go?
Wow. Honestly, going into this season, you got a healthy Salvador Perez. You know what I mean? I know he missed all last year. I'm going to go with Salvi again. I'm going to start Salvi. I think he bounces back. You know what I mean? He's known as one of the hardest workers in baseball, and I like him to start. Yachty, I'm going to bench, and I'm going to cut Buster Posey. I think Posey's pretty much done here. After last year.
You think Buster's cut? You think Buster's cooked, huh? Buster's cooked?
Yeah, Buster is done for me. I think he's got a. He's lucky if he can even last this year. I feel like he's just not keeping up with it anymore. He's had his illustrious career already. For me, he's an easy cut. Starting Salvi, I told you why, and just benching Yachty. That's a guy that you always love to have on your team, and I think he's always pretty decent to have. Not the worst option to have at catcher, but I would bench him.
I actually agree with your order, and we didn't do pre-planning and share our orders, but I agree with your order here. I would start Salvi, even though he was out last year. I just love Salvi. I'm a Salvi guy. I know he kicked our butt in the 2015 World Series with the Royals, and I want to hate him, but he's such a likable guy. He's the captain of that team. I think he's gonna bounce back. And he's a horse. The guy, he's got to be 6'3", 6'4", and gets behind that plate.
Yeah.
I mean, his legs are like tree trunks. I mean, I love him. And he hits. He's consistent. Up until last year when he got hurt, the guy was always consistent. And Yadier, you know what you're going to get. And the fact that Yadier is still a top 5, top 7 pitcher tells you how thin the position is. I know you see this blonde hair sneaking in right here. Tells you how thin the position is. But just for that, Yadier gets the bench, and Posey, you're right, gets the axe. All right. Our third round of start, bench, cut. You ready? This is the creme de la creme, Paulie. Creme de la creme. The cream of the crop. You ready? Contreras, Grandal, Realmuto. Contreras, Grandal, Realmuto. Who you starting? Who you benching?
Wow.
Who you?
Wow. That's really tough for me. I think I'm gonna start Realmuto. I still think that he's the top fantasy catcher in the league. I really do. He's got another level that he hasn't shown yet. Something that he might have had a little bit more with the Marlins for whatever reason. But I think he still has that level he's going to get to. And I'm not sure if he's in a contract year this year or if it's next year. But I think he's due for a really, really big season. And then I'm going to bench Grandal. I think he's the second best catcher to have. I think he also has first base eligibility, possibly. Not 100% sure, but
I think he does.
I think he does. So I think he would be 2 for me, just because he hits bombs or he bats like 250. So he's kind of in between. But I would take Realmuto and Grandal, and unfortunately, I would cut Contreras, who I really do like a lot. I just think he's kind of expensive at this point, and you could either really get Realmuto or Grandal, or then just wait, a little bit later and kind of get similar production. This is a guy who hasn't really broken out yet, in my opinion, but he could be due.
So, because I agree with everything you just said, order, explanation, everything, great job. So, Realmuto, I think the consensus is, obviously, I'm not stating anything new, he's the best catcher in baseball, right? How much would you bid for him in an auction league?
For Grandal?
260. No. Realmuto. Did I say Grandal and not Realmuto?
Oh, I'm sorry.
260 budget. How much do you bid for Realmuto? The top catcher. How much money do you put out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for me because I kind of maybe go a different route. I'm not like I want to get the best catcher in the league and build my team from there. But if somebody did want to go that route, I mean, $20+ isn't out of the question at all. You know what I mean? 20 to 25. I feel like 25 is absolute tops, but paying 20 for him, I think, is pretty legit.
Yeah. And King Hap, you're absolutely right. There's no love for Gary Sanchez in this room. I mean, we're not even Yankee fans, but the amount of errors he makes, I mean, and the amount of unfulfilled potential, even if we were Yankee fans, we probably wouldn't love it.
Yeah, and real quick, Royals said if we are talking draft price, Contreras goes from cut to start. So I mean, maybe I have my facts wrong. Maybe Contreras is pretty low on the rankings, and you could get him at a good price. Was I wrong about that? Because if that's true, then I would go with him if we're talking draft price, and he's going in later rounds. But I don't think that he's going that late.
Let me ask you a question.
Maybe he is, but
if JT would go for 20 to 25, right? And we were in a league right now with Piazza in his prime, how much would Piazza go for?
At least 30. I mean, you're talking a guy who always had a pretty healthy career for the most part and hit bombs and had hit for average and everything like that. So I would say probably in the 30s.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, to get that kind of production out of the catcher position that Piazza offered back when the guy was hitting 340, 350 with 30 bombs, I mean, that was just filthy. But
that's something that you don't get at the catcher position anymore.
The reason why I bring that up is I just think that the catcher position is so thin. It's so thin.
Yeah.
That's why Realmuto seems like a superstar, but he's a pedestrian superstar as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Comparatively
exactly.
to who else is out there. But
exactly.
Anyway, great segment, Paulie boy. I feel like I want to throw a little trivia out there, right? A little 90s trivia. The decade that Paulie boy was born. Right, Paulie boy?
Yeah.
I think we lost. Right? The decade you were born. I'm here. What were you born? 93?
93.
93.
Millennials all day, millennials.
All day. So, okay, here it is. In the 1990s, what player led the whole decade of the 90s, 1990 to 1999, in hits? And what player, separate player, led the 1990s in stolen bases? What player led the 1990s in hits? And what player, separate player, led the 1990s in stolen bases? So I'm going to let that simmer for a second. And I'm going to let you know, hey, if you're just joining us right now, this is what you missed. Paulie Boy and I went into a little conversation about players versus owners with this upcoming season. Where are we going to land? Are we going to have a season? What concessions need to be made to get us to where we need to be? We talked a little bit about the NFL. We teased the NFL. We jumped in. We meant for it to be a longer segment, but I was just so bored. I needed to go back into baseball.
You were falling asleep.
I was falling asleep. So quarterbacks and tight ends, Paulie Boy navigated us through a little bit of the NFL. We jumped right back into baseball and did our little start, bench, cut segment on catchers. Who do you start? Who do you bench? Who do you cut? We had 3 different categories there and a little trivia. And again, the trivia, who led the 1990s in hits and who led the 1990s in stolen bases? 2 separate guys. If you missed any part of that, this is what you need to do. You need to go to the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports Network and watch it, or go on demand and watch it. Watch it.
Go on podcast, Lenny Melnick Fantasy Network, the Fantasy Fam.
The Fantasy Fam. Don't miss it, kids. Don't miss it. All right.
So Andrew's got a couple guesses here. We got some guesses.
We got Tony Gwynn. We got Griffey. I mean, Griffey was hurt for a lot of the 90s, so it's a good guess. But Griffey's not the guy. Gwynn is a great guess, but he's not the guy. King Hap, not Palmeiro. Nope. Not Lofton. Not Ripken. Guys, it's a tough one. And I'm assuming we're talking hits here, right? Because there's 2 separate questions here. There's 1990s hits and 1990s stolen bases. All right. Obviously, Gwynn and Lofton, I guess that's hits. Nope, both of them wrong. Really, stolen bases, not Ricky. You would think, right? You would think it's a layup. If it was the 80s or 70s, I think it's a slam dunk, Ricky. But Lofton's a great guess,
Hey,
Andrea.
Hey, while they keep guessing, real quick, I just want to throw this out here. I saw 2
wait,
days ago.
hold on.
Wait, go ahead.
Hold that
Go
thought.
ahead.
Hold that thought. We got a winner. Royals with Mark
Wow.
Grace. That is correct.
Mark Grace.
Mark Grace. I remember hearing Mark Grace back in the day talking about. I guess he was single when he played, and he just like ran through girls like it was his job and was not shy about it. So I think that was Mark Grace's.
Really?
Yeah, back when he played. Do some research
Wow.
on Mark Grace. Really interesting character. Lenny Melnick for stolen bases. King Hap, he was number 2. Lenny Melnick was number 2. I'm looking for number 1.
That
But Mark
was some
Grace-
decade from Lenny Melnick.
It was.
Some
But then again,
some decade.
isn't every decade a great decade for Lenny Melnick? I mean, he is the
That's
legend.
true.
He
That's
is the
true.
legend.
You're 100% right.
Andrea, good guess with Tim Raines. Nope, not Tim Raines. I'm pretty sure that the guy who led the 90s in stolen bases never led the league in stolen bases. How about that?
So then it's
guy
not
who
Ricky
led the-
Henderson.
It's definitely not Ricky. It's definitely not Ricky.
Not Ricky.
So that's the outstanding trivia question. I'm going to let it sit there. We're going to keep looking. We're looking for, again, top stolen bases in the 90s, all right? We're going to march right into the third base edition of Stardom or Dumb. When you're doing your fantasy draft, who is destined for stardom and who is just a dumb pick? Malpal, not Lofton.
It's not
Not
Lofton.
Ricky.
It's not Lofton.
Not Lofton, not Ricky, not Tim Raines.
Wow.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint, guys, before we go into stardom or dumb. Think ugly. Guy was just ugly, not Biggio. Not ugly. Good guess, though, Andrea. Guy was ugly.
He was an
That was ugly.
ugly-looking
That's all I
person
got.
or an ugly-looking player?
An ugly-looking person. Not like Willie McGee, Randy Johnson ugly, but like ugly enough, right? So I'm just
Right.
I'm gonna throw this
All right.
out there. That'll be an interesting segment in the future too. Georgie kind of touched on it in the past about players that were not so attractive, but we won't go there right now. Not Barry Bonds. Oh! Hold on, we got it. So I guess it's a King Hat Malpal combo here. Otis Nixon. I guess
Otis
ugly.
Nixon.
I guess ugly gave it away, guys. Am I right? Did ugly give it away? It was Otis Nixon. And I met him. I worked for the Atlanta Braves down at the spring training complex down in Florida, Disney, during 1999. And he was on the team and saw him up close. My God, it was like the Grim Reaper. It was the Grim Reaper. But man, could he run. Man, could he run. Otis Nixon, great guess, guys. Great guess. Malpal, dead giveaway on ugly, right? That's awesome.
I would have never got that. Never.
Yeah. Otis Nixon. Good one. All right. Stardom or Dumb, third base edition. Here we go, Pulley. Just going to throw a couple at you today. You ready?
Yep.
We're going to start right here. Yoan Moncada. Now, I know I believe, and Lenny, if you're in the room, I believe Lenny is a big Moncada guy. But where does Pulley Boy land?
Is he?
Where does Pulley Boy land?
So he had a really good season last year, Moncada, and going into the season, I love the White Sox. I think they have an absolutely loaded lineup, and he's got a lot of protection in that lineup. He's also got a lot of speed. He found his pop. It looks like he's got some pop. You know, all that talk about his bat and everything like that. It seemed like he really broke out last year. I think the guy's going to be a star. And, I just love his potential. I think he can only get better. I think he's young. He's like 22 years old, right? Yeah, he had a great year last year. I think he's a star for sure.
All right, so you think he's destined for stardom. I'm kind of on the fence with him, but I would lean towards stardom as well. I mean, he was obviously the prize of that Chris Sale trade with Boston. He had a great year last year. He's also, by the way, probably the second or third best hitter on the Shaolin Schmecks in our Stratomatic League, which gives him a little
Schmeckles. Shout out to the Schmeckles.
A little tick up, even though the Schmeckles got swept by the Traders. Is that the name? The Traders, Tri-City, yesterday. Not feeling good about it. But anyway, I'm a buyer on Moncada. probably a limited buy. So my question to you, Paul, is how high do you go on Moncada? How much would you pay?
For Moncada?
Yep.
At third base, I think he has second base eligibility too. I'd pay over $15 for him. I would
You
pay
would
over
for
$15
Moncada?
for him. Maybe 17 tops. Andrew said he broke out by not striking out 30%. Now it's 29%. he might have struck out a lot. I don't know. I think he batted like around 270 maybe last year. I could be totally wrong, but I think he's bound for stardom, and he's pretty good.
All right. Next one. Ready? Gio or Urshela? Are you buying Gio or Urshela?
Yeah. This is one of those out of the blue Cashman pickups that just work out for the Yankees like it would never work out for any other team. For me, as good as Urshela's defense is, he backed that up with the offense last year. But this year, he's going to have that competition with Andujar coming back. I don't see stardom for Urshela. He's also not a dumb pick. I think he's somebody I would take a chance on in case Andujar gets hurt again, an injury-prone guy. But I wouldn't go out of my way for him.
So, but Paulie, listen, we can't straddle the fence here. You got to pick one. I'm putting you to it. Stardom or dumb, Paulie. It feels like you're going more dumb than stardom.
It's dumb for Urshela. It's dumb for Urshela then.
So I'm taking the opposite viewpoint on this. I know they have Andujar. I know they have other options around. But I got to be honest with you. When you read scouting reports of Urshela, when he was in Cleveland, they said the guy could always hit. It was just a matter of getting the opportunity and being comfortable. And I think last year he just got comfortable. And I think he's going to continue to hit. As much as I hate to say that, not being a big fan of the Yankees, I think Gio is going to hit. Now, how much would I pay for him? I mean, I probably wouldn't go too much above 8 because there is a feeling that
I was going to say 8
not.
As well. Yep.
Yeah. So, interesting. You would say 8.
A solid guy to have on bench.
For sure. Or a great utility guy, I feel.
Right.
Could be served as a utility guy. But I say there's more stardom. Interesting that you say dumb, I say stardom, but we both say $8. So it sounds like you're going to take a little bit of a risk, and I think I'm kind of getting them low. So, but I think again depends on the room you're in. If you're in a Yankee room like you and I typically are, you'll probably go for like 36 or something crazy, right? You got some crazy guys in the room. But interesting one with Urshela. I got one more.
Okay.
Because we're gonna end with this one. I have 3 options. I'm trying to think which one to go with. Let's go with. You want the established guy, the guy that was really awful last year, or the superstar to be, so they say. Which one? Pick one, quick.
The last one. Whichever. What was the last one that you said?
The guy superstar to be, so they say. Which is Vladdy Jr.
Vladdy.
So I know the easy.
I mean,
the easy layup right now with all the hype around this guy is what? Stardom all over him, right?
Yeah.
I just think.
Go
ahead. I think he's a bit of a wild swinger. I don't think he's.
I could see that.
Though. He's not. I don't think he's going to be a star this year. I think he's going to be a star maybe in 2022, if he can get his body together too. He's got that thick body,
that you hate.
I hate bad bodies. I hate bad bodies. Even if they have good years, a la Rafael Devers, I think you have them for a short period of time to be that good. I was very surprised with Devers' year last year, but I think Vladdy Jr. is going to be good in about 2 years if he could stay healthy.
Right.
What do you think?
Right. I agree with you. 100%. I think somebody got him in the draft last year for about $14, something like that. And I wasn't willing to pay that last year just because he wasn't up yet, even though I knew he would be up at some point. Still, 14 is pretty high for somebody who wasn't proven at all. Just had so much hype that was the price for him. Going into this year, I mean, he's probably going for anywhere from 15 to 20 again. You know, it's not something that I want to pay, you know, to get him. He's got the bat, but it doesn't seem like he's really put it all together yet, like you're saying. So definitely in a year or two, for sure, he's definitely destined for stardom just because of, you know, his you know, having the name. Just having the name is having something. So yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. I agree.
All right. I feel like some people are offended about me saying Devers has a bad body, and that I question him. He had a great year last year, guys, but I'm telling you, I lived up in Boston for 20 years. I know some of you guys are Boston guys. I just he runs like a duck, and he looked a little bit like a gummy bear, you know, when he first came up. Just, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm not into Devers for the long haul. Maybe for the next year or two. But long haul, I don't know. I wouldn't buy on him personally. All right, Paulie, ready? We're going to run through this next segment. This is our last segment. We got 5 rounds. Sorry, not 5 rounds. We got 5 minutes. We're going to run through players. Here's the question. Injury-prone guys that are perennial injury guys. In an auction league, how much do you pay for them? I'm going to throw out names. You're going to throw out numbers. Are you ready?
Yep.
By the way, King Hap loves Devers. Yeah,
I agree, though.
Listen, there's always those few guys that had a bad body that made it work, like Tony Gwynn, like Kirby Puckett, like David Ortiz. But they're in the minority, right? It's not many guys that make it work, right? Not many
Very
guys.
Few and far in between.
Paulie, do you know the name Steve Balboni?
Steve Balboni, I do not.
All right, good. Moving on. Anyway, I know people in the room know Steve Balboni. Speaking of bad bodies. Okay, again, I'm going to throw out names. You're going to throw out numbers. Are you ready? How much would you pay for these injury-prone guys this upcoming year? Aaron Judge.
And so we're presuming all these guys are healthy going into the season, correct?
Sure, because all of them are. I mean, Aaron Judge is probably the one who's kind of not, right?
Right. That's what they're saying. He's not hurt. So do you want to just go based on like how he is right now? He's like halfway there, halfway not?
Yeah. How much would
Or
you
if
pay
he's
for
healthy.
Aaron Judge? Paulie, if there's a
At the
draft
moment?
right now,
Yeah.
how much would you pay for him?
I would pay $12 at most probably for Judge.
You'd go that high, huh?
I feel like 12 is a solid spot, and if he came back and played 100 games and you got that, you know, you got that production from him and he's fully healthy, then, you know, $12 is like, wow, that was a steal. You know what I mean? But, you know, you don't want to go too high with him. King Hap saying 15 to 18. I don't know about that. I don't know if I would go that high. That's probably when I lose him to a Yankee fan or something like that. And I have no problem with
Andrea. I'm with Andrea. I'm around 10.
$10.
10.
Yeah, 10 to 12 for me.
Next one up is Mike Clevinger. Now, Paulie, you know my heart goes pitter-patter. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
But he's a guy who's healthy right now.
Well, he's healthy right now, but he's been injured. Right? He had the arm, he had the back.
He gets hurt often.
He gets hurt often, but when he pitches, he's lights out.
Yeah. I would go as high as 18 to 20 for Clevinger because when he's on, he's on. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know when he's healthy and he's in your rotation, you can count on him. But it's just when he's out of it, it's just, you know, it's normally a long-term injury. He's 6 weeks. He's 8 weeks. He's got this. He's got aches. He's got inflammation. He's got whatever. But it's a guy I would pay 18 to 24 with no problem.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's a fair price, 18 to 24. I mean, I'm a big Clevinger guy, so I'd probably overpay for him. Paulie, don't use that for me in the draft when we have it. But, yeah, I love Clevinger and great flow. That hair flow, my God, that guy is just,
he's got the ground flow.
He's filth. Royal said Clevinger
Royals
costs
is
30,
saying,
right?
yeah. Wow.
Wow.
We're so unprepared for if this draft was tomorrow.
Yeah, but 30 for a guy who's injured that much. I'd spend my money
Yeah, I would pass.
somewhere better. I would,
I
as
would
much
pass.
as I love
Yeah, I
McNabb.
would pass.
What would you pay for James Paxton?
James Paxton. I like James Paxton a lot, and I think I would keep him in the 15 to 20 range, kind of like Clevenger. Probably pay like 16 to 18. You know what I mean? Like if we're getting really like down to the wire there, I think that's a fair number for him. I know he does get hurt, and he's not a guy who's going to give you 200 innings too often.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that the Yankees really need to count on, and I think he maybe takes that step. He had a good year last year, and I think he takes that that accountability, and he can turn into something, and that $16 will be worth it.
I'm more for Paxton in that, like, I don't know, 10, 12 range. I like him. The guy, for God's sakes, had a hawk or an eagle land on him. So just for that, I love him. But yeah, I like him when he's healthy. I just don't know. We'll see. But again, I wouldn't go too much over 14 for him. Max. All right.
Okay.
I got two more for you. We're going to make it quick because we're already at the 9 o'clock hour. We're going to end with these two. We're going to do this quick, Paul. You ready? Alex Verdugo.
Yep.
Alex Verdugo. He's been injured a lot. Injured for a bit with the Dodgers. Injured now with the Sox.
I don't love Verdugo. I would try to get him for single digits. I'm talking anywhere from $5 to $8.
I have him at 8. I like Verdugo. He's a bat-to-ball kind of guy. He's my kind of player I typically like on my team. I would go 8. I might stretch to 10 for him. But King Hap would not pay a dime for Alex Verdugo. Not one dime. Not a dime.
Well, we don't take pennies or coins in our league, so that's good.
Yeah. Andrew's asking about Ryu. Let's go road quick, since if Andrew's asking the question and we're on that time frame, I don't know if there's anybody behind us. Andrew, if you could tell me if there's anyone behind us, so I don't feel so bad about going a little bit over. But Ryu, Paulie, what do you pay for Ryu? You own him in the Strat.
Ryu.
What's your thoughts on Ryu?
Yeah,
in Toronto now.
In Toronto now. Obviously the ace of that team. I don't know. I know he had that insane year last year, but was that just to get a contract? I know that he's normally pretty good. But was that just because he was in that contract year or whatnot? I'd probably go 22 tops on him. He seems risky to me, and I think 22 is realistic for him.
All right.
As high as I would go.
I just think. Yeah, no, I wouldn't go that high. I could probably go 16, 18 tops on Ryu. American League East, right? It's not the NL West. He was on the best team in the NL West, and the NL West was a little bit soft. So the AL East is a whole other beast. So I don't think he's going to have the same level of success. I wouldn't expect a 2 ERA. I'd expect he's going to be their race, but I think he's a number 3 in the American League East. So I think he's going to have like a 3.7 ERA.
You're right. High 3 ERA and that AL East pounds left.
Yeah. So I'm not on the Ryu wagon. All right, Paulie, last one.
That's fair.
This is the one everybody knows is coming. We might as well end with the last one. Mike Stanton, Giancarlo. Mike Stanton. Right.
Giancarlo. Yeah. I do anything to get single digits for him. I feel like that's a fair risk. At that point, if you spend $8 on Stanton and get zero production from him, you're like, all right, it's $8. But when you're going 10, 12, up to $15 on him, you're just like, wow, that's money I could have spent really elsewhere. When you spend 5 to 8, you're like, all right, it's a risk. He's gonna sit on my bench. If he turns into a star again, then I start him. But for me, I'm going $5 to $8 tops, and totally okay if I don't get him.
Yeah, I have Paulie, so we're right in the same range. But you know there's gonna be some dumbass in every room that's gonna go for like low 20s for him, just from name appeal alone. You know,
that's
Royals.
great. You know what I mean?
Royals in the room said that Ryu's going for single digits. So I don't know what league Royals in, where Clevenger's going for 30 and Ryu's going for 8. But like that's crazy. I want in that league, Royals, because that to me is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I get it because I love Clevenger, but Ryu's more than single digits, right?
Single digits, no way.
I mean,
I don't believe that, but if it's true, then that's great.
The guy was. Didn't he come in like second or third in Cy Young Award voting last year?
Yeah,
I mean, the guy was
I think he came in. I think he came in third.
And he's always reliable. Innings eater at the very least. King Hap says he'd pay $9. All right.
If you can get it, if you can get Ryu for $9, I'm taking him on my team and letting him be my third, fourth, fifth starter and loving that.
All day.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, guys. It's 9:05. We took you 5 hours past when we should have.
5 minutes.
What did I say?
Only a couple minutes. 5 hours.
Only a couple. Oh, did I say 5 hours? 5 minutes. Sorry, I'm
did.
tired. I got a 2-year-old running all over the place, and now I'm stressed because Lenny charges by the minute when we go over our hours, over our minutes.
Oh, he does. I don't have any money. So don't ask me for anything.
Right, Lenny?
I
charge by the minute.
I have no money.
I'm just kidding. Listen, the only person that could go 5 hours over and nobody would blink an eye would be the legend and the lady and maybe Georgie.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta get in on a taco show soon too. King Hat Taco. You guys, I gotta tune in soon. For some reason I never get in there. I gotta get in there. Paulie, have you ever got in there?
I need like a list of all the shows. No, I need like a list of everybody's show and when it is, and I want to tune in more often.
I got a big request here. It's a good request. A list of all the shows. That would be great. A weekly list. We would love it. We're putting Andrea to work. She hates us right now, but love you guys. Anyway, Paulie, that's our show.
Yes.
9:06.
Great show.
9:06. Great show, guys. Guys in the room. Guys and ladies. We want to thank you all for being in here. We got a list right here. We got Andrea. We got Erica Barbella, ladies representative.
Still in here somehow.
We got King
Still
Hap.
in here.
We got King Hap. We got Lenny. We got Mal Powell. We got Royals. And we got guest Lanny. I don't know who that is, but typically it's someone who just didn't sign in. Probably somebody we know. But guys, thank you for tuning in. We always have a blast doing this. Mal Powell, I know Taco has a great show. I hear great things. I think I heard it once, but for like a second, and I was like, I gotta listen to this. But I need that schedule. Happy hour, 7:00 Wednesday. All right, Paul, you're on notice, kid. 7:00 Wednesday.
All right, sounds good.
Let's get in, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. Start of the week. Let's have a great week. We're getting out of COVID. Let's start moving. Live your best life, and we will see you 8:00 next week with the Fantasy Fam. We will see you later. Good night, Paulie boy.
Yes, sir. Much love. Love you. Talk to you later.
Yeah, later.